Alright, this is an any percent tutorial for a battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. To play this game on PC, because again, this is a PC tutorial. I know this works on other consoles and platforms, but I don't know how it works, so you're going to have to look at a different tutorial for that. This is purely for the PC version. So to start, you need to have Live Split downloaded, and you need to have the auto splitter enabled in your splits. There are plenty of tutorials on how to do this for games that have auto splitters. I'll just leave you to figure that out. But to start, you're going to select the file that you want to overwrite. And when you hit A here, if you have the auto splitter active, when the first loading screen passes, you should see the timer starts automatically at around 2 seconds to account for the time that it takes to load. So once you get in, all you have to do here to perform the Scum Bucket Warp exploit, when you warp to the end of the game straight from the beginning, you press start, hit A on Bikini Bottom because it's the level that you have unlocked, and by doing so, you can trick the game into thinking that you unlock this if you input the A button or confirmation button twice on the same frame. The only way to do this is by using the spacebar and the confirmation button on your controller at the same time. So in my case, it's the A button on the Xbox controller and the spacebar. Now, when I was doing runs on this is before we enforced the no VSYNC rule. So now I'm running this game at 144 FPS around there. So this is a one frame input, 144th of a second to press both of these on the same frame. And remember, every time you miss it, you have to go back to this level to open this prompt and hit B and then try it again. So I got it first try, so yeah. So the reason why this works is because you're using the A button and the spacebar on the same frame. So that allows you to bypass the section that determines whether you have enough or not enough spatulas, but whether you've unlocked the level. So you can just skip that prompt and you can just go straight to the end of the game. So here we are on the second split now. Now this fight might take you some time to get down. I'll teach you the stuff that I did when I got the 219 a couple of days ago, but I'll also teach you some like easier beginner strats, I guess, if you don't want to do that. So to start off, for the hard strats, you just hold B and walk off the ledge and use the cruise bubble as you fall off. Now, what I look for here for the plankton disable to make him not fire at you, you want to stand between the two nails on the ground here. You see these two nails on this patch of steel? You want to stand right in the middle here. And what you're going to look for is Plankton's shadow. You're going to see the laser firing red part of his contraption the shadow of that is going to pass one of the nails on the ground. So that's what you're looking for. So I'm going to run off here and do this again. I'm going to walk up between the nails on this sheet. Watch the firing thing. When it hits that nail there, fire at him. And if you did it correctly, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Yeah. If you hit him as he's firing his lasers at you, like as he starts to fire, as long as you don't get hit and you shoot him as he starts firing, it disables him. So see how he's not doing anything? Now I'm going to purposefully hurt myself until I die here so I can show you it again. Watch for the little red shooter thing, the shadow of that. You want that to touch or start passing over the nail on the patch of steel in front of me. So I'm standing between these two. It touches the nail. Hit him, and that should disable him if I did it the right way. Yeah, see that? Okay. Now, I don't think this is the fastest method. Since I stopped running this category, obviously I was doing day one runs of this, and the meme got old after a little bit. But yeah, I think there is a new strat for this where you can like start earlier and it's faster. So yeah, maybe look at the world record to see that if you want to see the most updated strat. But that's how I did it when I ran it. So what you're gonna do is use the cruise bubble to hit all of these different nodes on SpongeBob now while he's disabled, so he can't mess with you and you can just knock them all out at once. So from here, make sure you do this exact pattern that I do, because if you don't do it this way, it's going to be a lot slower, because every several hits he's going to lower his head and go to sleep, and then he'll raise his head back up, and the nodes on top of the head are obviously going to be closer to the ground when his head's lowered. So the first thing that we're going to do is hit this one here, and now after that he should lower his head. You see that? So now we're going to turn the camera a little bit and hit the one on top of his head. Now you're going to hit the two on the side here. These two don't matter which order you do, but if you want to keep it like streamlined to what I'm doing, just do that one first and then do the one on the side of his head next. This one can be a little bit tricky to hit. Sometimes you might go past him or miss it. I'm just going to go ahead and shoot this one on his body, which is the next. Oh, excuse me. You want to hit the one on top of his head next. Like, whenever his head's lowered, you want to hit the one on top of his head. My bad. Just switch those two. So here, as I was saying before, for this node over here, you want to try to hit the cruise bubble under the helmet, because the splash damage can hit the button next to it. So you're not really trying to aim for the button. You're trying to hit the part of the helmet under the button. The part of the helmet that's above the button. Does that make sense? So I'll show you. You'll see it again on the next one too, because this is the final button, the final node here. See how you hit the helmet and it just splash damages into it? Cool. Alright, so there you go. Now for this next part, if you jump on the trampoline too strong, you just get the bounce. It's inconsistent because this game is spaghetti code, but yeah, if you jump from like a reasonable height, you'll bounce, but you're not trying to get the bounce. You're trying to get around the trampoline so you can run off of it. This level was made in about 5 minutes, so you're gonna see that if I jump down here, the hand's not gonna grab me. So you can kind of run around on the trampoline. If you go on the side, do a jump spin, it doesn't give you enough height to really bounce, but you can also run on the side to assure that you don't bounce. So once you're on the side of the trampoline, just jump down. And as you're jumping down, you're going to see that the monsoon's going to try to attack you. If you stand right here between the platform and the ramp, and you can just barely hit the thing there, the little brain fuse, or not brain fuse, but fuse in general. If you hit the fuse right here as he's hitting you, the monsoon will damage boost you off as you knock this thing out, so you'll just fall down, die, and respawn here, because every time you hit a fuse, you get checkpointed on that spot. So now I'm going to teach you a tech called cruise bouncing. Not cruise boosting, but cruise bouncing. If you use the cruise bubble, like immediately after you bounce, like it's kind of like the sponge warping glitch that I showed in one of my previous videos, where if you slam immediately after you bounce from a damage boost, you teleport in the air. It's kind of like that kind of input timing, but for a trampoline. So when you touch this trampoline, immediately after, you want to start holding down the cruise bubble button. That time I did it too early because I was anticipating hitting it too. I'll show you again. I'll show you another strat that works here too. But yeah. Make sure that you're also facing in this direction, because the cruise bubble in this game snaps to whichever direction your camera's facing. It's not like the original where you use it and then it smoothly transitions to whichever direction you're facing. Like, it just snaps you in whatever direction. So when you jump on this trampoline, you want to be facing this way. That's important. So yeah, jump this way and then use the cruise bubble after you touch the trampoline. I messed it up again, but I'll show you the backup now because I messed it up. If you missed it, you can just jump down on this little platform here and hit the node this way, and hit the little fuse that way, because that's what we're going for when we do this. But yeah, there we go. So when you get closer, you don't want to do it too far away or too close. You want to wait a little bit, because you'll notice that if you don't wait long enough, you'll just hit yourself with the cruise bubble. If you wait too long, you might get hit by the monsoon. I'm not sure if that's even possible, but yeah, you might. You don't want to wait too long, because one, it loses time, and two, I'm pretty sure if you wait too long, you can get attacked by the robots up there. It may seem like I'm just flat out missing this by a lot, but it actually is a little bit precise, because unlike the original game, the blast zone for the cruise bubble is really, really small, and you have to really make sure that you hit this thing spot on. If you go next to it and detonate it, the collision for it is really, really bad. Like, if you manually detonate it, the actual hitbox for the cruise bubble is way smaller than if you hit it with hit it flat on. So you want to make sure that you hit it flat on instead of going next to it and detonating it. It's not like the original game where you have a lot of room to work with. So yeah, here you're going to do another thing here. Excuse me, no cruise bounce on this one, but as soon as you get up here, you're going to just jump forward and hit Plankton. He spawns in the same spot every time. Just jump forward and hit him. He'll bounce you back, and then you just use this to hit the first fuse inside the brain. Now, unlike the original game, it doesn't check to see if you have all three in the brain destroyed. It checks to see if you have all the fuses in the entire map destroyed. So that includes the one down there that we skipped with the glitch, or not the glitch, but the exploit of jumping down and skipping most of the map because there's no hand trigger. If you hit that, and you hit that, and you hit the three inside the brain, the game ends. So there is a fast way of doing this, but the easiest way to do it for the second one is just doing this from here, just aiming down and hitting it like this. That's one way of doing it. That was the original method that I discovered when I was helping lab this category on the first day the game came out. But there was another way discovered with the cruise bouncing method where you can just do this. You can just aim down while you're doing this to hit the cruise, to hit the fuse like this. If you do it this way, Plankton will already be spawned in and attacking you, so you gotta just hit him like that. If you do the easier method, just do the same thing as you did for the last one, where Plankton will spawn right in front of you and you just jump forward and hit him. Now this cruise bounce is a little weird. I'm going to miss this a lot in this explanation, so I actually probably will just edit this out if I take too long. But the collision for the trampoline is a little bit higher on this one than the other one, so you want to use the cruise missile a little bit earlier. There we go. Alright, hopefully this works. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. Plankton is going to shoot at me. Yeah, okay. This isn't going to work, but if you release the cruise bubble around there, he should just not attack you if you got it first try. If you missed it, you can't go for it again. In that case, yeah, you use the cruise bounce to hit the fuse from in there. You can watch the world record and see that for yourself. Jump over here, hit him. If you miss it as a backup, then you can just hit this fuse if you mess it up. And then after that, all you have to do, regardless of whether Plankton's shooting at you or not, all you got to do is space jumps to get to this final fuse and finish the game. So in this game, unlike the original, you can actually jump, spin, jump, and then spin again, and both spins will stall you in the air. So you want to do jump, spin, and as you fall, jump, and then spin again. And then you just jump as you're running here to save a little bit of time, because you can bash in midair now. You just jump and then bash, and that's it. That's the any percent speedrun. Really short, really easy to learn. I will link the leaderboards in the description of this video if you want to submit runs. Just make sure you follow the rules listed on there. I'm not going to talk about the rules specifically here because I feel like it's not going to age well since we're still trying to figure out how the game works and set rules. But yeah, just read the rules on speedrun.com. They'll tell you what you have to do to submit runs. But that's how you play, so all I have to do is just get a run that's allowed on the leaderboards, and you should be good to go. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, I'll be uploading more videos like this on how to speedrun this game, so subscribe if you want to learn more about how to play this and the original game, which I already have plenty of resources on. If you want to learn how to play the original, I can link a tutorial on how to play the original as well, if that's your taste. But yeah, enjoy doing any percent run. This is a pretty good meme.